You're sitting in a quiet room. Nothing is wrong, and yet something in you keeps waiting for it to go wrong. Maybe it's the stillness that bothers you. Maybe it's the way your eyes snap to movement at the very edge of your vision before your brain even registers what it saw. Maybe it's that low hum of tension you carry through the day for no reason you can name. The sense that somewhere, just past the boundary of your awareness, something is watching. You've probably written that feeling off as anxiety, or stress, or just the noise of modern life pressing in too hard. But the real answer is far stranger than anything your daily life can explain. Your brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is that it was designed for a world that no longer exists. And no one told it. Think about the last time you heard a sudden loud noise. Your heart rate spiked before you understood what happened. Your muscles tensed before your thoughts caught up. That was not panic. That was survival code running on hardware that is hundreds of thousands of years old, and it ran perfectly, exactly as intended. Neuroscientists call this the threat detection network. At its center sits a small, almond-shaped structure deep inside your brain called the amygdala. It is ancient, far older than language, logic, or any abstract idea you have ever had. And its only job, the one it has been doing since long before your ancestors walked upright on the open savanna, is to ask one question over and over and over again, every second of every day. Is something trying to kill me right now? In 1994, psychologist Michael Davis at Yale published foundational research establishing just how fast the amygdala can respond to perceived danger. Not slow, not measured, fast. His research showed that the fear response can be triggered in as little as a tenth of a second, so fast that the signal bypasses the prefrontal cortex entirely. Your thinking brain doesn't get a vote. The alarm sounds before you even know why it's sounding. This is not a flaw in your design. This was once the most critical feature you had. Go back 100,000 years. Your ancestors woke before sunrise in terrain that was genuinely trying to kill them. Not metaphorically, literally. There were predators, large ones, fast ones, that hunted at dawn and dusk. There were rival groups competing for food, water, and territory. There were venomous things in the undergrowth, infections and wounds, drop-offs hidden in fog. The environment was a continuous stream of hidden and real danger, and the bodies that survived were the ones whose threat detection systems were tuned all the way up. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, in his landmark work on human cognition, described the mind as operating through two systems running simultaneously: a fast, automatic, unconscious system and a slower, deliberate, reasoning one. The fast system is the ancient one. It does not think, it reacts. And in an environment crowded with actual predators, that speed was everything. A hominid who paused to reason carefully about whether the rustling in the tall grass was actually a threat became a meal. The one who ran first and thought second became your ancestor. You are the child of the ones who panicked first. That is the body you inherited. A body that is extremely good at detecting threat. A body that would rather fire the alarm 1,000 times unnecessarily than miss it once. Here is the part that changes everything. The brain doesn't just scan for threats that are already there. It anticipates them. It predicts them. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett, whose research fundamentally reshapes how we understand human emotion, has argued that the brain is not a passive receiver of information about the world. It is a prediction machine. It is constantly generating a model of what is about to happen and comparing the information coming in against that model. And the model it is working from, the deep, unconscious template your brain uses to interpret the world, was written in a world where silence before a charge was the most dangerous silence there was. So when you walk into a quiet room and feel uneasy, your brain is not being irrational. It is running a very old simulation and finding that silence historically mapped onto danger. When you sit in a waiting room and feel watched, your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do, scanning for attention directed at you, because being the focus of another creature's gaze once meant you were about to be hunted. That sensation has a name: hypervigilance. And in the right doses, in the right environment, It kept your ancestors alive through conditions you cannot fully imagine. But here is where the ancient code begins to cost you something. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a predator and a difficult email. It cannot distinguish between physical danger and social rejection. To the threat detection network, being excluded from a group, receiving sharp criticism from someone whose opinion matters, or reading a message with a hostile edge, all of these register as versions of the same signal. Threat detected. Prepare to survive. This is not a metaphor. A 2003 study by neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA used brain imaging to show that being excluded in a simple online game activated the same neural pathways as physical pain. The same regions lit up. Social pain, to your ancient brain, is not symbolic pain. It is real pain. And real pain was once a reliable signal that something in the environment was actively trying to destroy you. So your body responds accordingly. Cortisol rises, heart rate increases. The mind narrows its attention, becoming hyper-aware of potential threats, potential exits, potential allies. You start overreading the expressions on people's faces. You replay conversations from hours ago looking for signals you might have missed. You lie awake at 2 in the morning parsing the tone of voice in a sentence someone said that afternoon because your brain is trying, urgently, desperately, to figure out whether you are actually safe. You are running survival software. The software was never updated, and the world it was written for has been gone for thousands of years. Consider what this looks like mapped onto a single ordinary day in your life now. You wake and reach for your phone before your body has finished its first transition out of sleep. The moment a notification arrives with a negative charge, a confrontational message, an unexpected piece of bad news, something uncertain that needs a decision, the amygdala registers it before your conscious mind has finished loading. You feel the tightening in your chest before you understand what you're reading. That is not pathology. That is your threat detection system doing its job on targets it was never designed to encounter. You scroll through a feed of news and your nervous system tightens item by item. Each alarming headline reads, to the ancient brain, as information about predators active in the territory. Each one adds a small signal. The environment is dangerous. Be alert. Be ready. And so you carry that readiness into the rest of the day. A low hum of physiological preparation for a threat that never quite arrives. You go to a meeting and someone challenges something you said. Your heart rate increases. Your thoughts sharpen and narrow. The biology of confrontation activates. The same cortisol, the same muscle tension, the same narrowing of focus, even though you are sitting still in a room with no physical danger anywhere. The ancient code cannot tell the difference. It responded to social threat the same way it responded to the predator. Because for most of human history, losing social standing was not symbolic. It meant losing protection, losing food access, sometimes losing your life. By the time evening comes, your threat system has fired on and off across 12 hours of modern life. And when you try to sleep, it keeps running. Because in the ancient world, nighttime was the most genuinely dangerous part of the day. Large predators moved in darkness. Sleep required total physical vulnerability. And so your body evolved a mechanism to survive sleep. A light, cycling architecture designed not for deep rest, but for controlled partial shutdown, with one system still scanning. Sleep researcher Matthew Walker has written extensively about how the structure of human sleep reflects this evolutionary past. The way the brain maintains a partial threat scan even in the lighter stages, the way small sounds pull you toward wakefulness far more readily in the dark hours than during the day. Your ancestors slept in groups, in open or shallow shelters, with no walls between them and the night. Sleep was not designed to be total unconsciousness. It was designed to be a compromised survival strategy. And you still carry that design. That is the system that wakes you at 3 in the morning. The thing that is hardest to hold in your mind is this. You are not uniquely broken. You are not more fragile than other people. You are a modern person running ancient hardware, living in an environment that your hardware was never designed for. And the mismatch between the two is the source of nearly every unexplained tension you feel. Your brain did not evolve to process the volume of social information it receives in a single connected day. It evolved for a stable band of roughly 150 people. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar identified this as the cognitive ceiling for meaningful social bonds, the number your brain can actually track, model, and care about. Now you are exposed to thousands of strangers each day, each one a potential social variable that your ancient threat system tries to evaluate. And so the machinery runs hot, not because you are anxious, because you are prehistoric. The extraordinary truth is that you are not reacting to the modern world. You are surviving it. Every tight chest and racing thought and sleepless 3 in the morning, that is 100,000 years of successful survival encoded into a body that found itself, without warning, in a world of screens and cities and strangers and information that never stops. The room is quiet. Nothing is trying to kill you. But something in you keeps waiting, keeps scanning, because that is the job it was given, and it has never once stopped doing it. Your ancestors sat at the edge of the grassland and watched the horizon for movement. They made it through the night. They made it to morning. They passed this body, this brain, this watching and waiting, all the way down to you. Same body, same code, same ancient, unrelenting question. Is something trying to kill me right now? The room is quiet. Nothing is wrong, and yet something in you keeps waiting.